Welcome back. If you're new here, welcome. I'm Clara Narty. I'm an artist who uses textiles, threads, fabrics, and all kinds of other materials to create art. And here on my channel, I share my life as an artist. In one of my previous videos, I was sharing a project that I was working on, a portrait that I was creating. I was in the middle of creating, and I needed the right color of threads to work on that portrait. And I noticed that I didn't have the threads, which was really disappointing because I had been away from the studio for a while, and I was returning to the studio and I wanted to be able to spend that time making art. But because I didn't have the threads, I didn't have the right threads. I was not able to use my studio time. But I made the decision that when I had the opportunity, I would go to my local sewing supply store to get some threads so that I could work on that project. I did go to the sewing supply store, but what happened after that made me start to think. It's a rainy day. I'm headed to my local supply store to get some threads so that I can start working on that portrait that I showed you. Morning. so hard to find the right color. I'm never able to match it exactly, so I don't even try, but I try to get it as close as I can. And this color in particular looks like it's a cross between brown and gray, so it's so hard to actually find the right one. I think these ones will work. I seem to be ending up with the same kind of brown color, so the same decision that I had made in the studio is it's a similar decision that I'm making here in the store. I'll just get these.
$37.17, please.
Okay.
Go.
Oh, well, what do you have now? I actually don't know. I have my brother 1700. So that's sewing and embroidery. No, it's just the embroidery. Okay. Yeah, the gloves. Come over here, please. So here are the threads that I had selected the other day that I thought would work with those portraits that I'm going to be creating. And I had selected these, which are in a brown color scheme. So I was thinking this one would be the darkest in the scheme, and this one might be the lighters, and then these two would be in the middle. And then I went into the store and I ended up with these 5, which I think are going to work, but then they are also in the range the same, similar, not the same, similar color range. This one has a lot more gray, which I like, because I think that the colors that I'm trying to match move more towards the gray end. They're actually dark purple, grayish, and I'm not getting that. And then these two are brown, which are in the same color scheme that I had originally thought would work. I have something like this here already. I'm sure I can find, yeah. So this and there's no difference. And even the grays, I believe I have gray that would, yeah, you see these two are almost the same. That's why I stopped running to the store to get thread, because I would come back with something that I could probably find amongst my own threads. So I didn't need to buy this. But in the store, when I was there, this is what formed that gradient for me. So from dark to medium to light, this is the gradient. And I needed to get a whole gradient to be able to be effective in translating the values. And I couldn't tell whether I had any of them at home or not. So I bought everything. Yeah, I'm going to get to work. Hi there. Today I'm feeling a little bit overwhelmed. I've got a lot of what I call computer work to do. However, I'm going to go sit down at my sewing machine and do sewing machine work. I'm going to do thread painting and move this project along so that I can make some progress. I'm working on a proposal that I had submitted to this organization that requested it, and upon review they came back to ask for some changes, for some updates, for certain things that they wanted. I have done that, and I have to make some more updates. And there's so much back and forth in this kind of work when you're doing like custom work for either an individual or an organization, and all of this work in this particular case, when you are making a proposal, you don't even know whether your final proposal is going to be accepted or not. So all the back and forth revisions is on your own time, and there's no guarantee whether it's going to result in an approved proposal. And I do want to work on the portrait that I started. I really want to put in some hours into that project so that I can advance it and I can make some progress there. So I do have a lot to do, and I have to figure out how to divvy up my time so that I can get all the things that I need to get done. So here you can see the difference in the colors of the threads that I just changed. So this was the lighter one. This, I haven't done the medium one yet, so this would have been medium. And I moved to a little darker, so this is medium dark. So light, medium, medium dark. It's been raining a lot these days. I'm starting to feel that spring is around the corner. I love tea so much that it is one of the gifts that I get very often. My sister got me some tea from India, which I haven't yet tried. So I'm looking forward to trying this tea today.
Hi there.
Today I woke up pretty excited, although I went to bed late because I was working on my video to upload to YouTube. Today I woke up feeling good, and I think part of that reason is because although I have to do computer work today, I can see what tomorrow would be when today is done. So when I'm done with the computer work that I need to do today, I can pretty much spend all day tomorrow making art. And that is exciting. That is what I'm looking forward to. So today I'll be buried in computer work, but tomorrow I get to make some art. So yeah. What I call computer work is anything that is administrative and has to do with the arts practice. So things like writing an invoice to get paid for something that I did, entering my work into a call for exhibition, which requires getting my images ready, resized, and getting the captions and writing about the work. There's a lot of writing when it comes to be an artist, and it is something that I did not expect when I decided to be a full-time artist. I didn't realize how much writing is involved in an art practice. Sometimes when I spend a lot of time sitting, I need to find ways to move my body. I need to stretch. I need to move my legs. The bulk of the work is getting all these things out to people, sending my portfolio to people, responding to inquiries that people make. And it takes a lot of your time as an artist, running your practice, trying to do all that computer work, and also finding time to make art. And it is a balancing act. So, the trip to the sewing supply store wasn't a waste. But it wasn't because I found the perfect thread. I didn't. But when I realized that I already had some of the threads I got from the store in my home studio, that made me think. How often do we stop because we think we don't have what we need? We wait, we go looking, we delay starting, but sometimes we already have enough to begin. It might not be perfect. It might not match exactly, but it's enough to move us forward. And once I actually sat down and started stitching, things began to work. Not because everything was right, but because I kept going. Thank you for joining me today in my studio. My practice is always teaching me, and I'm always learning. And I hope that you enjoy these videos. If you do, please hit the like button. And if you haven't yet subscribed, subscribe. In the meantime, create something beautiful and share it with the world. See you next week.